What is going on, girls and guys? Welcome back to Arachnid Soul's Gamer Podcast. As always, it is your host, Arachnid Soul. I'm joined today by Lady Jo. We're going to introduce her in a second, but first of all, let's talk about what the topic is today. We usually have specific topics on this show, and I was sitting down with Jo just a couple of seconds ago, and I was telling her, I don't really have a topic. Is there anything you want to talk about? She kind of said no, that she's just kind of a baby gamer, just kind of getting into it. So that's basically today's topic, getting into gaming, being a baby gamer. Let's introduce the chick herself. Jo, what is going on?
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing great. See, this is good because we're both West Coast people. You live out in Cali. I've lived in Cali. I've lived in Nevada. I guess I'm not too West Coast because I lived on the other coast, on the East Coast. And also in the middle of the country, but I don't talk about that.
That was another time.
Yeah, and it's just weird. It's like traveling back in time. So how long have you been gaming, and what got you into gaming?
Let's see. I probably started gaming with World of Warcraft. And that was in 2007. My boyfriend at the time, he was playing it, and I came over one time and just was watching him play it, and I was like, that just looks awesome. I love Renaissance-y games. I love questing, like achievement-y games. And at the time, they didn't have achievements then. But I love the lore of it. I love the story. I love the way the characters dress, like the magic about it. And I probably played that for a few months, probably nonstop, for about the first 7 months. And it was like, I said, screw chores, screw everything else. I'm playing World of Warcraft. It kind of does it too, When you get into
before World of Warcraft, there were people who were playing a game called EverQuest, and I know that was breaking up marriages, and there were divorces, and people were leaving their children, and kids were staying home sick from school when they weren't sick. But that's actually where you kind of got your name from, Lady Jo, because you play a lot of Renaissance things.
I have always loved Renaissance. I love Renaissance movies and just the flair. I like how the way they dressed back then. Just that style. I've always been just really just into that. And so I'm like, I never wanted to be like the Disney princess. I wanted to be like the lady, and I didn't want to be queen, but I wanted to be like lady, because Lord and Lady, it just sounds so great, just so nice of a title to have. And so
I think it's good because when you're the lady, you still get to live in that interesting world with the dragons. You still get the good food, but on the other hand, you don't have the responsibility of having to rule a kingdom and lead troops into war. In fact, I didn't realize you were a baby gamer, and a couple of months ago, I was just talking to you about BioWare, and I was surprised you had never played a BioWare game, so I was like, okay, she needs to play Dragon Age. So I got you Dragon Age Origins because I'm like, it is not acceptable that you're a gamer, you have no idea what's going on with BioWare.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like medieval and Renaissance, and it's got knights and kings and everything. And I remember at first you were like, yeah, I don't really play games like this. And even when you first started to play it, the evolution from when you first started and you were just kind of run and gunning to now,
died a lot.
Yeah, slow down, use the potions, use the abilities.
That's what those are for. Oh.
Yeah, so do you think now this has kind of opened you up and maybe you'll play more games of this genre?
Oh, definitely. Now that I've got a handle on it, it's a lot of fun. I finished Hydrophobia Prophecy, which is another game. I'm not good with shooter games, and that was the first. And it's not really a shooter game, but it was my first experience though with using guns and trying to train the crosshairs onto the target. And I'm not good with that, but I finally finished that, and that was really fun. So now that one has actually triggered me into wanting to play other games. I want to play more gun games and see if I can get better with that.
Yeah, okay, so maybe we'll play one later and we'll make a video or something out of it. But I did a secret stash hidden video game gems of Hydrophobia Prophecy that anyone listening to this can go and watch. It's somewhere on my channel. Maybe there's a link in the description. And I think for you, Jo, as someone who was such a big fan of Portal 2,
yeah,
the bridge between Portal 2 and like a third-person shooting game would be the Hydrophobia game, because it's essentially a puzzle game in disguise with water physics, with fire, with little quests that you go on, and at the same time, occasionally a guy shows up and you have to shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Let me ask you though, so you said World of Warcraft, this is what got you into it. So many people I know started with consoles and then got into PC gaming. Were you someone who strictly went to PC gaming, or were you like a console gamer before?
Well, alright. My brother has autism, and he loves PS3. He fell in love with PS3 and Nintendo 64. So the only reason that we have a Nintendo 64 and a just PlayStation, is because he was so into it, and those were the only things that like kept his attention and got him into interacting with people. So I kind of have a little bit of experience with that, but for the most part he hogged all the games. So also what's the other game we were just talking about the other day? Descent. It's a really old game.
So basically, your brother sounds a lot like me, because that was my forte. Like PlayStation 3, loved it. In fact, I go even farther back. I loved both of the PlayStations. My love for Nintendo, it doesn't go all the way back to the first one, even though I did have like the first NES, and I remember playing like DuckTales and Marble Madness and Paperboy and all of those things. But the Super Nintendo, to me, like Super Nintendo, PlayStation 3, and the PC are my three favorite gaming things ever.
Yeah.
Are there like more different genres of games that you haven't really gotten into yet, but you've seen and you're curious about and want to give a try to?
A lot of games. I do want to. I'm not really into the 2D like pixely 8-bit pixely games, and it frustrates boyfriend because he's like, those are the only games I love, But so I'm trying to get more into shooting games and just more variety, because I only have like a small variety right now. I got like zombie, I got magic, I got World of Warcraft,
Right.
But I wanna expand. I'm not really too I like diversity.
Like to me, I'll play something that's 3D. There's some really great 2D games. I'm sure your boyfriend is playing Project Zomboid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would assume that. And that game is awesome. Anyway, like I always say when we do these podcasts, I could sit here, I could talk to Joe or whoever for the next million hours. We'd never get through everything. But we're going to wrap this up. We want to hear from everyone out there in the comment section, your questions, your comments. Please don't fight with each other, though. Remember to follow me also on Twitter at ArachnidSoul, and remember to go check out my other videos. If you're interested in watching Joe's Twitch streams, and you should be because she's awesome, her information is in the description below. As always, it has been your host, ArachnidSoul, intellectual, voracious, and passionate about banging out some awesome podcasts for all the gamers out there. We will catch you girls, guys, and everyone else in between later.
See you later.